is happening, ladies and gents? You are watching episode 3 of Spoiler Talk about episode 5 of Loki. Here on the panel, once again, we have my cousin Justin Case. Say what's up.
How's it going, everyone? Good to be back.
And of course, it's always a pleasure to have my good friend, Sir Whitaker, Robbie Whitaker, in the digital building.
Hi,
guys. So, without any further ado, first thoughts and impressions of the episode. Robbie, we're going to have you start us off.
The penultimate episode of Loki was absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
seeing classic Loki showing his full potential.
Yes.
Holy cow.
That was amazing.
Also, funny story really quick. So, I realized Mobius was being played by Owen Wilson, but it did not click in my brain that Mobius and Lightning McQueen are the same person. And so it was
That's funny.
My son was obsessed with cars for years, and he watched it again the other day, slightly before I watched Loki. And so I couldn't hear Mobius. I could only hear Lightning McQueen the entire episode. And it kind of messed with my head. But that's okay.
That's funny.
No, he was driving like a maniac, so I guess it fits.
What were your first thoughts and impressions on this episode?
Oh, me? Well, again, yeah, that old man Loki, like classic Loki, that dude was a badass. But
and they made him look extremely comic book accurate too.
Yeah, like the suit was just classic as hell. He was older, so you could tell he was like the OG one. And Alligator Loki was just hilarious.
Alligator Loki was the best.
Just a random little alligator. There's like, oh, he's a Loki too. Yep.
Yeah, he was like, He was like, without saying a word, he was like, yeah, I belong here. So
you got a problem with that?
Is there an issue?
All of the memes that have been made in the last 24 hours of Odin telling the alligator Loki that he's adopted.
Yeah.
One thing I would really love to see, though, is alligator Loki using magic.
I would love to see that. I mean, you could only watch alligator Loki bite people's hands off, but for so long,
Now, he bit off a different version of Tom Hiddleston's Loki's hand, and that was just beautiful.
President Loki.
President Loki. And the scream was hilarious. The scream that he let out when he got bitten was great. It was wonderful.
Also,
it was filled with glorious purpose.
And just the sheer fact that every Loki kept betraying each other. That was just fantastic.
That was funny. It's like, I betrayed you, but I thought we had a deal. It's like,
by the way, I'm betraying you.
That's not what we discussed. It was great. It was great.
I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter our terms further.
Exactly.
It actually kind of shines a mirror on Loki to show why people don't trust him. I don't know if it allows him to kind of self-reflect after that whole situation.
It seems like he did when he was hanging out with Sylvie. It kind of seems like that really did make him think, though.
He did.
Yes and no, because it's Loki, and Loki doesn't believe in self-reflecting. Loki's Loki.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That was my thought. Also, did you guys
that's why it helps to have multiple Lokis, though. It's not really self-reflecting as it is reflecting on all your other selves.
True.
So I watch it with subtitles.
Okay.
And Kid Loki was called Kid Loki. As in Kid Loki from the freaking Young Avengers. Also, do y'all catch why he was why the other Lokis considered him the king? Did y'all catch that?
Because he killed Thor.
Because he killed Thor. Probably with that flaming sword that he gave our Loki.
That's pretty badass. That's something to brag about.
Yeah.
Which brings me to Hold on, which brings me to this. Yes, that was a badass moment. He's like, I killed Thor. Whoa! What happened? All right, we'll continue. He'll
Okay.
come back. I know he'll come
He will.
back.
It's fine. It's fine.
But man, oh, he just popped up. Let me get him back in. Let me get him in the game.
Okay, yeah,
Got
sorry.
you back in the game, sir. Got you
Both your
back in the
screens are
game.
frozen, so I had to refresh.
That is perfectly fine. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. But you're back.
Technology.
That's important. Specific moments and observations. I couldn't help but notice that there were. Well, I'm sure a lot of us noticed this, but there were Easter eggs upon Easter eggs upon Easter eggs in this episode.
It's just layered.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
I mean,
let's take a
then
look
ultimate
at.
episodes, so they had to throw everything in there that they could.
Yeah. So let's take a look at this here, right? So obviously, we're dealing with Kid Loki, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, so they said Journey to Mystery. Title of Loki, Episode 5 is Journey into Mystery, which is the name of a long-run Marvel comic book series that began in 1952. This episode in particular was likely given that name because the episode shows Loki venturing into the unknown, and more to the point, the Journey into Mystery series eventually went on to star Kid Loki as the lead in 2011. So that was deep.
Oh, that was something I wanted to point out. Kang Tower.
What?
Kang Tower. Kang Tower.
Sorry, Just I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
Oh no, you're good, dude.
During the episode's first look at Void's collection of destroyed buildings, you may think you saw a half-destroyed Stark Tower in the distance, but upon closer inspection, it is actually Kang Tower. In the comic book, all new, all different Avengers, #1 from 2015, a company named Kang Enterprises acquired Stark Industries. As it turns out, the head of Kang is revealed to be none other than the time-traveling Marvel villain, Kang the Conqueror. First of all, they couldn't be any more blatant with a lot of their Kang references, because even Elioth, the usurper,
that's Kang's monkey boy.
Yes. That's his personal, I guess, huge giant bodyguard thingamajigger.
Yeah, like that is a cosmic entity that he enslaved.
Yes. So
because I thought it was Stark Tower too at first.
Yeah. But if you really look in the history of, I think Iron Lad ended up being Kang the Conqueror at one point. So yeah. If in a sense, it's still kind of Stark Tower, if you really think about it.
It's just
for now, at least.
He gifted that. Tony Stark gifted it to Kang Enterprises when Iron Lad was building his tech empire.
Yeah. And then now check this out.
So now the question is how they're going to build all that into there without Tony Stark being in the franchise now.
I feel all bets are off at this point because of the whole multiverse situation. They could always pull in a different Tony Stark from a different universe that's not Robert Downey Jr.
That is true, but that dude's going to have a worse. He's going to have a worse reception than Wyatt Russell did.
Oh yeah, did you do know that before Robert Downey re-signed his contract? Guess who they had in the running to be the next Tony Stark? Anybody remember? Because Marvel Studios actually tweeted this and said, "Say hello to your brand new Iron Man, John Hamm."
Hell no.
And then Robert Downey was like, "No, I'm doing it again because I am Iron Man. So
just pay me another $20 million, and we'll do it."
Yes, and bring me the letter A from the Stark Tower, and everything will work out.
Make sure oh hell no! I like John Hamm. He's funny, but no,
he's no Tony Stark.
That's too much of a comedic role. Too much of a comedic.
Yeah, he's way too. At least with Robert Downey, he could he could switch back and forth between dramatic acting and comedic acting at a drop of a dime. Don't
True.
know how seamless John Hamm could do the same thing.
I don't want to
May not
test
be.
that.
No, I don't. I don't want to see that.
I mean,
Did you
they
guys
might bring him
notice?
back as a different universe as Tony Stark. You never know.
Maybe, but I still think he's going to get a bad reception because
Oh,
in
absolutely.
everybody's mind, there's only one Tony Stark. And I honestly, I kind of feel that same way when it comes to when they're going to redo Blade. I'm still stuck with the idea that Wesley Snipes is Blade,
Right?
and
Agreed.
I have a hard time seeing anybody pull off not only the acting of Blade, but the martial arts prowess of Blade.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why I was thinking if anyone was gonna be Blade, and if it's not gonna be Wesley Snipes, it should be Michael J. White because that dude has
Michael
at least the
Jai
martial
White.
arts skills.
Yes. Michael Jai White
He's got the martial
probably
arts
makes
skills.
Michael Jai White probably makes the most sense, but I don't know if it's an age issue. They're trying to get somebody a little younger so they can have them around for
I
a
mean,
while.
he's not that much older than Mahershala
But
Ali, is he?
I was just gonna say Michael Jai White is not that much older, and even if he was, he doesn't look it.
Right.
He looks great. So it's like I don't know. I'm gonna have to see Mahershala Ali in action.
Unless he's busy making another one of those Never Back Down movies.
Probably.
They should just stop.
Yeah, I gotta ask you too. There was a
What's
fan
up?
speculation for Wolverine, and do you know whose name was thrown into the mix?
Who?
Taron Egerton?
Kevin Hart.
No.
That's a joke. Right?
No.
That's a joke, though, right? They did that as a comedic type thing, right?
The people talking about it were dead serious.
I love Kevin Hart. The man's one of the funniest people I've ever seen, but no.
It was just pure. It was a pure fan speculation, and I was like, people are gonna come after me as the white dude that's just being hateful, and so I didn't say anything. But I'm like,
I will be the black guy saying Kevin Hart has no business being Wolverine.
Agreed. I mean, Wolverine's not black.
He does not have the only similarity Kevin Hart has is the height. That's it. There's no other similarity other than the height. Wolverine is short.
As someone who's not vertically challenged, I didn't want to say that.
Right. I'm short too. But daggone it. Kevin Hart is not going to be Wolverine, no matter how much he matches the height of Wolverine.
Look, I will give Kevin Hart this. The guy's in amazing shape, but no.
He is in amazing shape. He might, dare I say, he might even have the build of a Wolverine in his younger years. But I don't think he could be Wolverine right now.
In general,
even if they did race bending, he wouldn't be the person to choose.
No, his new Netflix movie, he did show that he can do more serious, dramatic type acting, and I'll give him props for that. But nah, he's not Wolverine.
He's not at all.
Like if that guy were to, if Kevin Hart calls someone bub, no one can take that seriously.
No, because I'm just gonna bust out laughing. Hey, what's up, bub? No, that's not gonna work. That's not. I cannot.
Excellent
I cannot hear Kevin's loud nasally voice or squeaky scared voice as Wolverine. Wolverine has a deep, like he's been smoking for years type voice.
Wolverine has a Christian Bale Batman type voice.
Yes, in real life. Like he's not trying to make his voice sound that way. That's how
that's not him disguising it. That's just his voice. So to have to go from that to little Kevin Hart going, "Look, man, Cyclops, I'm gonna fuck your girl, all right?" No, no.
You see what I'm trying to say is, Gene should be mine.
And if you don't like it, you can take these claws and shove them up your ass.
Oh man. Okay. Now that we've gotten sidetracked, let's jump back into
as usual.
As usual, of course. Yellow Jacket's helmet. Did you guys notice that in the
I
episode.
did.
I
saw,
did absolutely not notice
I didn't
that.
put two and two together. I didn't realize it was Yellow Jacket's helmet. I knew it was some type of helmet. I didn't know who it
Right.
belonged to until I went on. I watched what's the group that I usually watch after I watch a Marvel series or a Marvel movie? New Rockstars.
Mhm.
And they were like, "Yep, this is Yellow Jacket's helmet." I'm like, "Word, it's true. It is." And remember, Yellow Jacket disappeared, meaning he didn't die. He just disappeared into the quantum realm.
Right.
So he's probably going to come back very soon.
Which also leads into what you I'm not sure which one of you was saying it last time, but
Oh.
how the building that they saw in the quantum realm in Ant-Man Part 2, I think it was you, Robbie, you were saying that you saw it looked like the TVA in Ant-Man 2 in the background in the quantum realm. So
Yeah, the Chronopolis.
right, so it is possible that if that all ties in together, then Yellow Jacket might just be hiding somewhere in the TVA or something, waiting to
Yep.
make his next move.
Thanos copter. I
Did
saw that.
anybody see that?
Yes.
That's a
Holy
callback
shit.
to the comic book when Thanos was in his helicopter going against the Shield agents. Hilarious.
He was
That doesn't
troll.
even
Like
sound right nowadays.
I looked up the comic book and I saw a few strips of it. He's just sitting there trolling.
Hilarious. It's so funny.
It is.
Did you see this? Did you see
No.
Throg?
I did. I kept having to watch it over and over. Like, I made my wife rewind that thing like 3 times. I'm like trying to figure out what that is.
What the hell?
So Justin, here's the part. So remember that part where they go around and then you see Mjolnir?
No.
You didn't see Mjolnir?
You didn't
I
notice
must have
that?
missed it.
No.
To be fair, I was half asleep when I was watching it.
You might want to rewatch it, my friend.
I just might.
Heck, you know what? Hold up a second. Let me see if I can pull up another tab, just so I can show you that one scene. Because, man, hold on a second. Disney.
Oh no, I got
Plus.
Disney Plus on my phone. I'm actually trying to flash forward to that right now.
I want to give you the timestamp. See if I can find a timestamp for you because, yeah, it's pretty significant. It's pretty significant. They were going underground. You see Mjolnir, and then right after you see Mjolnir, you see Throg, the frog Thor, jumping, trying to get out of a jar, trying to get to Mjolnir.
It is amazing.
It's great. I thought, on first glance, I thought it was like a mini Thor. And then upon further inspection, I was like, wait a minute.
Well,
That's Throg.
You know who I originally thought it was? I thought it was an Ant-Man. I thought it was a variant Ant-Man originally because we'd seen the helmet in the background.
That's true. Yeah, so yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. Yeah. I wouldn't blame you.
Then I rewound it a couple times. I'm like, that's the frog version of Thor. And I laughed.
Yeah. So good. Where is it? Okay, I think I'm there. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the timestamp in a second.
Okay, it's at like 9 minutes. It's at the 9. Okay, yeah, I got it. Damn.
The 9 minute mark?
Yeah.
Will they go down?
9 minutes. 9 minutes 10 seconds.
Yes.
Just found it. Yeah. Okay.
They scroll. Yep. Hold on. Just so I can share it, just in case. There's some people out there that didn't get a chance to see it. Let me see if I could share that with my fellow viewers. Okay, so this one right here. Am I sharing this?
Yes, we're.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out. So there's Mjolnir, and then boom, there he is,
chilling in a jar.
To get out of the jar.
Just chilling in the jar.
Poor guy. I hope he eventually gets out of there soon.
So,
I mean,
I know.
he's in the. It'll even if he gets out of the jar, he's gonna have to dig through the mud to get through to Mjolnir.
I mean,
that's a tough task.
so
Thor may live for a long time, but he might be stuck in there for 100 years before he dies of natural causes.
Unless somebody digs it up, if he's that lucky.
well, also
That might be in the next episode.
Maybe.
Was that a cursed? Was that a cursed Thor, or was that Throg from the same reality where the alligator Loki's from?
That's a good question.
Well, I'm assuming if they're from if those two are, then he would have known ahead of time that he was adopted.
Right. Did you guys notice this? There was a shield helicarrier crashed in a field of debris. Is a shield helicarrier. We can't tell which one it is, but we've seen enough of these things crash that it's frankly not a surprise to see another one has gone down. I kind of think that's well, you see that right there? That looks like one of the turbines that made it float.
Kind of, yeah.
So yeah, I guess Ronan the Accuser's ship.
See that.
Also crashed in a field is Ronan the Accuser's flagship Kree vessel known as the Dark Aster.
There's
could be, but judging by the build of it, it could also be one of those Dark Elf ships from Thor: The Dark World.
Possibility too. Now this one made me like loudly gasp. See
Tribunal.
that? See the face? The Living Tribunal. So it's like, okay, so they're recognizing that the Living Tribunal exists. This is the second time that they acknowledge the existence of the Living Tribunal. The first time was in Doctor Strange #1, where Mordo is training with Doctor Strange, and he has this weapon. He's like, this is the staff of the Living Tribunal, and then does something with it. So I don't know, man. I mean, maybe eventually we might actually see the Living Tribunal. President Loki, we know about that one.
Of course. Hell, that was from the initial trailers. I was looking forward to seeing that one.
This guy's a bicycle helmet as the horns. That's hilarious. This dude has braided hair.
Don't ask, don't tell.
That's crazy. And this
is that supposed to be a reference to the Wendy's girl?
I thought that was Bad Baby, the Catch Me Outside girl.
Oh, how about that?
Don't even mention that person. Disgusting. No, just
hilarious. No. Yeah,
I will not give her any more recognition than is necessary.
Yeah, it's pretty sad how she got famous.
She got famous for being a dumbass, which is half the internet nowadays. So.
And then out of nowhere decided to rap and actually had a tour that sold out. I don't understand who spent money to see this girl, but hey, it's your money.
USS Eldridge.
Yes.
That is an IRL crazy story.
So let's read what it says here about it. It says, there's more to the sudden appearance of the USS Eldridge than a fun and horrifying action sequence. The U.S. Navy warship is tied to a conspiracy theory involving a government cover-up and aliens, in a story that has since become an urban legend known as the Philadelphia Experiment. A man named Carlos Miguel Allende alleged that the USS Eldridge was transported to another dimension and its crew was killed by vicious aliens. So you can see where the Loki writers picked up the ball and ran with it. Okay.
So potential Bermuda Triangle situation?
Essentially, so the USS Eldridge was set sail. It had experimental. What we know is we have experimental weapons on board this thing. It disappears from radar for X amount of time, then it reappears with no crew.
Yeah, that's some Bermuda type stuff. Bermuda Triangle type stuff.
That sounds. Oh, there could also be some sort of Tesseract shit.
Yeah.
What? I know I'm probably never going to find this out in my lifetime, at least not by myself. But I've always had this curiosity of what exactly is at the Bermuda Triangle, because it seems that no matter if you're
Same, actually.
on a ship, if you're on a ship, or if you're on a plane, something within that airspace or water space, signals get scrambled, and
No, I
sometimes you
completely
don't make it
agree.
out.
I
So-
kind of want to rent a boat or something and go out this and see what's there.
I'm just
Nope.
I'm curious.
Nope. Have fun. This time the white dude's bailing on y'all.
I was just gonna say, isn't it ironic that the two black guys are like, "Hey, let's go to where the danger is," and the white guys, "Nope,
Nope.
y'all
How
can
about
do
I
that.
don't
I'm
say I
out."
did?
I got a
I'll
spot
send
for
you a
you in
postcard,
Utah
Robbie.
if you want to. If you guys want to do something crazy, I had a spot for you in Utah called Skinwalker Ranch. Look it up.
What is it called?
Skinwalker Ranch. It
Skin
is
or skim?
Skin.
Skin.
Skin,
Skinwalker.
as in the
Skinwalker
Native American
Ranch.
wolf witches.
Ooh.
That is cursed Native American ground. Have fun.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you know what? On second thought,
You lost. At,
I'll just wait till somebody else
Native
makes that
American
discovery.
ground.
So, also, what I was going to say about the Bermuda Triangle, just wait for the Pentagon. They'll tell us it was aliens. They've been saying
because
they've been
they've
admitting
been
to
slowly
aliens for the
revealing
last
some
year.
things. Yes, they've been telling us about aliens. They've been showing us UFOs, but they've been real sneaky about it because they've been like releasing information very nonchalantly.
And the news isn't
I guess to
covering
the
it.
point where they want to desensitize us to it.
Hey man, I'm still convinced Jeff Bezos is an alien.
You think so? I
He might not be wrong.
thought what's his face?
Elon
Um,
Musk too.
Elon Musk. That's who I thought was an alien.
Could be both.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
mean, for 30 years, people have been saying the Clintons are lizard people. So,
I mean, why do you think Elon Musk is so keen to get back to Mars?
Yeah, some people are even speculating that. Oh, that's true.
oh, snap.
Why do you think Jeff Bezos is trying to spend so much money to go back home?
Hey, now we're getting into the weird stuff.
Could be something
And
to
why do
it.
you think they're both such?
Yeah.
And why do you think there's both such inhuman twats?
Yeah. There's nothing like humanly likable about them.
Not exactly. Yeah.
So
Okay. The
Loki's
flaming
story-
sword. That was so cool. And
was.
what I thought was the best part about it is how Kid Loki hands it to him and says, "You're gonna need this."
Yeah.
So
The short sword. Kid
I
Loki.
feel like
sounded
I feel like Kid Loki knows something he's not letting on.
maybe.
Also, he's definitely gonna play a big part going forward. I think because you don't cast the Kid Loki without thinking, okay, this guy could play the part for a few years to come.
Mhm.
Young Avenger.
Yeah.
So now, do you think Young Avengers is going to be a movie, or is it going to be a Disney Plus original?
I think it's going to be a movie series, kind of like the Avengers were. I think.
Okay.
I think they're going to go Avengers, Young Avengers, Next Avengers.
Ah, okay. So then, where do the Fantastic Four and the X-Men fit in all this?
I think they
Somewhere.
just kind of weave them in and out.
Well, they said they're gonna introduce them as the mutants before even going into X territory.
It's kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy was just thrown into the mix, and they didn't show up until Infinity War.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I love them.
And
I love the Guardians.
I do too. Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing.
And they were very genius in introducing each individual character without having to spend too much time on explaining. They just explained everybody in the lineup. That's it.
Right.
When they were doing their mugshots and they explained each individual, that was it. That's all we needed. So that was pretty smart.
I mean, y'all know where the Guardians, like why Marvel wrote the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
To introduce Adam Warlock.
No, I'm talking about like the comic, the original comic in the 70s.
Oh
Oh,
no,
then
no, I
no.
don't.
It
To
was to
rival
make fun
Star
of
Wars?
Star Wars. Yeah, it was to make fun of Star
Ah.
Wars.
That's why
Nice.
Star Lord is so similar to Han Solo.
So Star Lord and is supposed to be a combination of Luke and Han Solo.
Okay.
I was even
Rock
thinking. Yes, I can see the Luke part with his parents. Yeah. Okay.
and Whiny.
Whiny. That works.
So Rocket's actually supposed to be more Han Solo. So it's Rocket and Groot, which are Han Solo and Chewbacca.
That does make sense.
You got the princess.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Rocket and Groot are Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah, one only says "I am Groot," one only says "Oh." So,
Yep.
And you got the angry princess, whose dad is really the conqueror, like the head of the evil empire.
son of a bitch.
Wow. That's crazy.
No,
I didn't notice that.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, they weren't the original Guardians either. So
Yeah, they shook some they took some liberties.
I mean, hey, it works and it's hilarious.
It does. Remember what we discussed earlier about Chronopolis?
Yes.
Well, boom! Confirmed! It says, the mysterious building seen at the end of Loki episode 5 may very well be Chronopolis, home to Kang the Conqueror in the comics. We've already seen Kang's supporting characters Elioth, the Usurper, and Ravonna Renslayer, plus King Tower, and this may be his signature city. So perhaps the mystery of the creation of the TVA will all lead to Kang in episode 6. As the name
I'm just saying.
implies.
Oh, sorry. I'm just saying. I called it on Renslayer. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, because she's a love interest, right?
Yes.
Chronopolis is a city, but we see just a single building, what appears to be an old estate in Loki. So either Kang's base was redesigned for the show, or it is something else entirely.
So that could be the house where Then and Now live. I'm trying to remember the name of the house. Hang on, I'm gonna be rude and pull out my phone and look it up because there was another fan.
But see, I felt okay. So Chronopolis was one option or one theory. The other theory was a city inside the quantum realm, like a pocket dimension in the quantum realm. And the TVA, because remember, it's like I said in the last episode. They keep saying, "Oh, time moves differently here in the TVA," just like time moves differently here in the quantum realm. So could there be some type of connection, or are they just trying to lead us down a different type of rabbit hole?
I mean, odds are it is related to the quantum realm at least because it all leads to kind of that sort of thinking. Time moves differently there. You can go in and out through portals.
All right, guys. Here's another
what you got.
one.
That smile was very excited.
Yeah, he looked really excited just now.
Dr. Doom's castle.
Okay.
Ooh.
Also,
one of you was saying that last week too.
Also, it could be classic Loki's castle is another thing that people are saying, and that the Loki we saw was just a projection.
That's possible because he did say that. He did mention that about him. So like nothing is stronger than some Loki sorcery. The Loki who made his own Asgard could have been. Damn.
He mentioned. Remember, he was bragging about his powers. He said, "I can make projections so realistic that Odin himself couldn't tell it was a projection." He said that.
Also, the man is an absolute genius. For that Infinity War scene where he tried to stab Thanos, just sent a projection to do it, hit as debris. That was very well thought out.
But there's one. I'm trying to find the reference. There was one.
So you're basically saying he choked a fake Loki. He choked and killed a fake Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that really him? From a different timeline. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to tell. Because it's like
I
the
don't
show
know.
is making it seem like, hey, this was you in a different multiverse. This would have been your fate if you would have just stayed the course of the timeline, because this is what was supposed to happen. It's almost like it's like there's no such thing as free will. Everything is like fate, predestined.
One thing that I was thinking about yesterday that would be really messed up is if the TVA was headed by a Loki.
Ooh, that could be a
Because
pot. I mean,
because
look,
I think because the way the classic Loki was describing it, he said anytime a Loki tries to better himself, they take him as a variant and throw him into the void. That might
yeah,
just be because that one Loki who's in charge of the TVA doesn't want anyone to usurp him.
And what if
that's
that
true.
And he
Loki's
knows
the classic Loki?
and he knows the best person to usurp a Loki would be another Loki.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
what if it's
So
the
That's true.
classic Loki? What if it is the classic Loki?
oh, that could
And
be him.
that whole fake death scene was just him fulfilling his glorious purpose.
I mean, it would cheapen the death a little bit, but only
A little
because it's
bit.
Loki. Only because it's Loki, it's okay. Because
It's
Loki's
okay.
given himself so many glorious deaths.
And he
Yeah.
cheats death all the time.
All the time. Wait,
So-
hold on. Before we continue, hold on a second. Now let's do it.
So there's one, I can't remember the guy's actual name. It's something along the lines of he who was there at the beginning. Or he who was made
I know what you're
first.
talking about. Oh God. He's a really old guy.
Yeah.
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains, that's who it is.
He Who Remains.
He Who Remains was essentially Stan Lee. Like, it's supposed to be the Marvel Comics physical incarnation of Stan Lee.
Mm.
Because he created the Timekeepers. He created them. And he also had two children whose names were Then and Now, who are constantly trying to create stories. And that's the other theory that I've seen is that's who's in the house. That's who's in the castle.
Then and Now?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, my head hurts. So, oh man. So now I don't even know if I'm married to the idea of it just being Kang anymore. It could be any of those options.
So
as far as we know, it could be an evil version of Thor just trying to fuck with Loki.
that would be amazing.
That was crazy.
A very Thor.
It's at the end of the rainbow, and the head of the TVA is actually an evil Thor, just like, oh yes, I just created all this to fuck with Loki. I don't really care about it.
Get some revenge for scaring me with that giant snake.
Remember that time he was the snake and he came and he stabbed me. Yeah, it was just it's all good fun.
And he knows I like snakes, so I picked him up and I tried to. Like he picked it up to admire it. That's what's funny. I don't know, man. Like, there's so many directions they can go with this. I don't know what Marvel is thinking here. I don't know if they can do anything too major because it's a Disney Plus series, right? Because
not really.
The reason why I say that is because Kevin Feige specifically said he wants the shows to be like added bonuses to your Marvel movie experiences. So basically, when you're watching a Marvel movie, if you didn't see a Disney Plus series leading up to the movie, that's fine. You won't be missing anything, but you'll get lots of added bonuses and enjoyment if you did see the in-between Marvel series that leads into each movie.
Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. Like kind of like how Star Wars did with the Clone Wars and everything.
So, hypothesis time.
Okay.
If it is Kang the Conqueror, and I still, in my mind, that's the most logical person to put there because that's the person that's going to care about a sacred timeline the most.
Not to mention, he's the one that has ties with everything they've shown thus far. The love interest, time itself, the freaking usurp, whatever creature, whatever his name is, I forgot. His bodyguard.
Avalon?
Way too many. Kang Tower. Come on.
Goliath.
Yes.
Elias.
All of that. All of that.
So we have Kang the Conqueror introduced. Kang the Conqueror starts losing the fight, says screw the sacred timeline, goes into the multiverse, leading into the multiverse of madness, and then we have Loki explain to Doctor Strange who Kang the Conqueror is. And we just get a brief explanation.
But if Loki shows up to Doctor Strange's sanctum, they're going to fight because Doctor Strange doesn't know that it's a different Loki.
Spoiler alert, I'm 99% sure that Loki is showing up in Multiverse of Madness.
Oh yeah, most likely.
Yeah. But here's my thing, though. I don't know if Kang would be a good candidate to show up in Multiverse of Madness, only because it's already jam-packed with stuff happening already. That's number one.
That is true. There's so many characters in that movie, it's going to be ridiculous.
I think something is going to happen that would allude to him. Well, I mean, he's obviously going to be in Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Right.
But
that's when he was supposed to be released. That's when he was supposed to first appear.
Yeah.
Okay. New theory then. He shows up in the post-credit scene. He becomes the Thanos.
That makes sense.
See, that could work.
He shows up at the end. Yes. Okay. See, now that I can get behind that now.
That can work, absolutely, yeah.
Next 4 or 5 movies, you know how we had 4 or 5 movies of Thanos appearing at the end of every single movie? We have Kang building up to Kang the Conqueror and the Young Avengers.
So, and I'm still, you do know that thus far they've kept the storyline of Spider-Man Far From Home very top secret. I think the storyline was just leaked about how Peter Parker is basically asking Doctor Strange to create a spell that would make everybody forget that he's Spider-Man because of what was revealed at the end of the last Spider-Man movie about his identity.
Far From Home,
and I think as Doctor Strange does this, he rips a hole in reality, and somehow, villains from other Spider-Man properties start showing up. Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Electro, Lizard, they show up. But apparently, the one thing they share in common is that their universe's Spider-Man killed them.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
That could be interesting because,
yeah.
Because Willem Dafoe is going to be in it. Alfred Molina is going to be in it, so that makes sense.
And somehow, some way, Spider-Man gets in touch with the Tobey Spider-Man and the Garfield Spider-Man. I don't know if it was you, Robbie, that told me this, or I saw it on a video on YouTube, but there's speculation that the reason you don't know what Tom Holland's Uncle Ben looks like is because he looks like Tobey Maguire in his universe.
Oh, so when Tobey shows up, he's going to think that's his Uncle Ben.
When Tobey Spider-Man shows up, Tom Holland is going to take a massive dump in his tights when he sees his face because he looks very similar to his own Uncle Ben.
Yo!
Oh my goodness. I can see it already. Here's what's going to happen.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Imagine Tobey shows up. He's like, Uncle Ben? And then Tobey starts crying because he heard someone say Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
Okay.
Because he's family.
Oh, no. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Robbie, I saw that movie.
Too easy.
That side note, I saw Fast and Furious 9, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, regardless of how garbage some of the acting is, regardless of how garbage some of the dialogue is, regardless of them defying. Let me tell you how hilarious this is. In the movie, there is a line that specifically says, "Come on, man. It's physics. We have to obey the laws of physics.
No, they didn't.
Excuse me?
No, they didn't.
Excuse me? Did you just say obey the laws of physics in
I
a
don't think that.
fast movie?
I think they stopped obeying the laws of physics in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Man, look. And
Okay.
then they had the nerve to kind of have some throwaway lines in the movie to make them self-aware of what's going on. Like there's this one part where he's like, "You ever notice all the missions we've been on, and we always seem to survive? Maybe we're not normal." And then Ludacris goes, "Maybe we're not normal. Or maybe you're just a dumbass." It was great. It was great.
Okay.
But there are moments in this movie that's like, okay, they're not about to do this. They're not about to. The Fast and Furious franchise is now a superhero franchise. It is officially a superhero franchise, especially after what you see them doing Furious and Fast 9.
You know what they're trying to do for
Not
Fast 10,
surprised.
right? Do you know what they're trying to do?
Okay, hold on. Hold that thought now. I heard a rumor of a possible crossover with another Universal property. Is that where you're
Correct.
going with?
This is
Jurassic
exactly
Park,
where
is
I'm
it
going.
that one?
Yup.
Yeah.
They want to bring dinosaurs into the Fast and Furious.
What the hell are they going to do
so
now?
let me ask
Dino
you this.
Drift?
How do you think they'd be able to pull that off? Do you think
I
they'd be
don't.
like, "Hey, listen, Dom, we have this package we want you to deliver. Don't they pull a page out of the transporter book, they go, "Do not open the package. Just deliver this package from here to here." And then Vin's like, "I don't deliver things alone. I deliver things with family."
I knew exactly
Right?
where you're going.
So then
Of course.
they drive a full convoy with this giant box. They don't know what's in it.
Indoraptor.
Somebody hears that they have this package and they intercept them. While this happens, the box is accidentally opened. And what is
Indoraptor.
inside this box? A dinosaur egg.
Oh, it's just an egg? Lame.
Just an egg.
Lame. I wanted it to be a live Indoraptor.
Oh, and then let me guess.
Well, no,
the
well,
egg
because by
hatches,
then-
recognizes
by
Dom
then-
as his mom, and then Dom's like, "You don't turn your back on family. This is my family now."
I hate that. I hate everything about what you just said because
Freaking
they'll probably
hilarious.
do it.
They
It makes
would.
it's in character for them though. Come on.
Because
if
that
that
was gonna
if a baby,
there's gonna be
imagine a
a-
little velociraptor. Those things are kind of cute. If that
But here's
hatches
the
and
thing.
like, gets
There-
attached to Dom, he'll never abandon
Uh-huh.
that little guy.
there's going to be a three-way war between between Dom and his family trying to get the package to wherever they're trying to deliver it to, the team of people that are trying to steal the package, and then the actual dinosaurs themselves trying to get their child or relative back.
Can I just say that I hate
Sounds like
everything
race-
about what you just
That
said?
sounds like Race to Witch Mountain.
Hey man, look, crazier things have happened. We just witnessed. I know this is not a spoiler because they've talked about this on commercials and reviews.
Next thing you
We
know, you see a
just
little
witnessed
dinosaur drinking a Corona.
Right. Listen, we just witnessed Tyrese and Ludacris go to space. Even
In
if
a
it was
car.
brief. In a car. And then a couple of scenes later, they're back home. Not explaining how they got home. Well, they kind of allude how they made it home because they're floating in space.
They explained it by Tej being a genius engineer, and
No.
it.
They're floating in space. Are you guys planning on seeing it anytime soon?
No.
Probably.
They're floating in space after they do whatever their mission was, and the space station sees it and goes, "Hey, is that a car?" And it's alluded that the people in the space station saved them and brought them home. But
Hey,
I encourage
he hurt. What up?
Robbie, I encourage you. If you don't want to spend money on it, fine. That's fine. Get somebody to buy your ticket, or wait till it comes out on demand, or or use one of your jailbroken Fire Sticks and watch it for free. But man, you just for straight entertainment value.
This channel does not support the illegal
And
watching of films. Please support
we
your
don't,
entertainment
we don't,
and people.
not at all, not at all. But whenever you get a chance to watch it, just watch it strictly on the entertainment value of the ridiculousness of the franchise
That's the
and
only
how
reason
far
I
it's
still
gone.
watch Fast and Furious movies in general. They stopped being realistic after like Fast 5 with that vault thing. They killed so many people in Rio. I was pissed.
But arguably, Fast Five was probably my favorite one
Tokyo Drift is my favorite one.
because Vin Diesel and The Rock fought each other for the first time.
Guys,
I loved it.
Fair.
guys, slightly
Yes.
back on topic. Do you want to hear my
Slightly,
crazy
right.
theory? You want to hear my crazy theory?
Okay.
Please.
I think that as a backup, the MCU has written a version of the timeline where Tom Holland becomes Iron Lad. Just in case they can't get they can't buy Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's why they've been alluding at this whole Iron Man, Tony Stark is my mentor, my hero. He's giving me access to everything. Just in case they lose Spider-Man, just in case they lose that contract and they can't buy it from Sony, they have it so Tom Holland becomes Iron Lad.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
But then they also have what's it called? Ironheart that's going to be coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Both exist.
are they going to coexist? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Dwayne Hurt says, entertainment, yes, it was crazy. Fast Five was the best. Yeah. Fast Five to me was my favorite. And it just went downhill from there for me.
No, it's Ironheart and Iron Lad are kind of like Patriot and Miss America. They can both.
Yes.
They're both part of the Young Avengers.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because one thing I am looking forward to though from the new Spider-Man movie is just to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield decked out with Stark tech.
Yes, please.
Because like, they show up here and then Peter's just like, okay, you guys are cool. Toby's got his organic webs, but I'm gonna pimp you guys up.
Yeah,
I mean that would just be amazing.
You know what I'm waiting to see? I'm waiting to see all three of the Spider-Man swinging through the city. That's gonna be dope.
Right, because at the end of the movie, seeing maybe even more Spider-Man.
You know,
That's
every Spider-Man film has Spider-Man swinging through the city in the end of the film.
Right.
In slow motion.
I'm still holding on to the hope that, because they're showing a lot of stuff. I find it amazing that Tom Holland hasn't spoiled anything, so they probably haven't told him too much either.
They haven't,
but
they give him one scene at a time to film.
He just shows up on set like, here are your lines for today. Memorize that. We'll give you the rest tomorrow.
He probably films things out of context.
Yeah, they probably have to. Like one time, they actually told him during an interview that at least I think about Endgame. They're like, "You really look like you have no idea what's going on." He's like, "That's because I have no idea what the hell's going on here."
They gave him fake scripts.
Wasn't it true that
they gave him fake scripts?
They gave him a fake script. Didn't they make him think that he was at a wedding of some sort when really that was Tony Stark's funeral?
That's why he's not crying.
Yeah,
that is so fucked up.
That's funny. That is funny.
Imagine if you'd have been smiling and clapping or something.
Yeah, that would have been. I don't know if they would have kept that in the movie. They pay these Marvel people way too well for them to let that mistake slip through the cracks.
So, well, you guys remember Mark Ruffalo actually spoiled the fact that Captain America got married.
Did he?
Oh,
I know. I remember him saying. I remember him spoiling something about Thor Ragnarok. Nothing about Captain America.
Yeah. So he said, "Yeah, I got a bunch of random versions. There was one weird version of the script where Captain America didn't come back and he got married."
Is that from the final mission?
No. This is from
From like
Like
an
he was
Endgame
doing
press
an
release
interview
thing?
for, he was doing an interview for Avengers Endgame, and he thought he had a fake script where Cap never came back and got married, and he said it out. He blurted it out, thinking that it was a fake script.
But that's what
Spoiler
happened.
alert!
That was
It
exactly what
actually
happened.
So you give this dude a fake script and he still spoils it.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I love Mark Ruffalo, but damn.
That was stupid.
It was. It was.
I mean, it's not like they're gonna recast the Hulk again, so
They're not.
But if
They're not.
if that's really how they're doing No Way Home, you could bring Kang the Conqueror in at the end of that,
right.
and you could have
Sure,
that
they
be
could.
building. You could
Have
if
that
you
lead
wanted
into
to,
Multiverse of Madness.
or you have that lead into Spider-Man becoming Iron Lad.
Huh. Okay.
That is if
That way they have full ownership over it because they don't own Spider-Man. That makes sense.
yes,
or
but at the
next,
same time, Spider-Man is his own hero. That's what I always liked about the Spider-Man character, especially Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. So I don't
get
know
it,
how,
but copyrights.
Yeah,
Like
copyrights.
if they can't,
Sony knowing how valuable Spider-Man is and not wanting to let go. Fox, I feel like it's only a matter of time before
I
Disney just buys Sony.
That's
what I'm thinking. But so from
Yeah.
the way I see it, it's gonna be a bidding war because then I feel like Amazon is coming out with a lot of superhero stuff. So if that becomes a thing, Amazon might try to buy Spider-Man or buy all of Sony before Disney can hop on it.
Just out of spite, right? Just out of
Yeah.
spite. Just to be a jerk.
Can I tell you
I'm
why
just saying,
I don't
hey,
like the idea of them owning Sony?
Who? Disney or
Marvel?
Okay.
Disney.
Because
Because
Disney
every
owns
Marvel video game is going to be a
everything.
No, every Marvel game would be a PlayStation exclusive at that point because they own Sony and they want to make more money.
I'd be fine with that. I'm a PlayStation person, so you Xbox guys can suck it.
I'm a PC guy, so
oh well, you can suck it too. Sorry, buddy.
Wow.
PlayStation all day.
Unless, hey, that's why we have mods. That's why we have people that tinker and create mods and emulators. You know what I mean? That'll allow you to be able to play that game on the PC.
Do you know
on the phone, for that matter?
Do you know how many that's how I played the Gen 5 Pokemon games was through an emulator.
I'm telling you, man, emulators are no
channel
joke.
does not support the illegal gameplay of video games either.
Not at all. We don't. How dare you guys?
I've never done it in my life.
How dare you guys even think about something so terrible?
It's so morally wrong.
It's wrong. God,
also, as you are now hearing, are fictional.
Shame on every single one of you that thought about doing something like this. Horrible people. Anyway, so what do you predict is going to happen in episode 6 of next week?
I can't think of anything other than Kang. I think we're going to
It's impossible
see Kang
to predict, and that's why I love the show so much. They have because with Captain America,
so many different directions.
With Falcon Winter Soldier, you could see what was going to happen. With WandaVision, you could kind of see what's going to happen. This show is so all over the damn place; it's impossible to know.
Yeah, exactly. So
for all we know, Loki is in a time loop right now, and someone's just messing with him. For all we know, someone has the reality stone, and it's just, as far as anyone knows, someone has a reality stone. It's just messing with Loki. Like,
don't do that.
You don't know.
Don't do that to me.
You're angering Robbie. Let's not do this.
No, it's not angering Robbie. It's just like my head can't handle that. I
was talking to someone about this actually, and we were talking about what if this is like some big ass Matrix simulation type thing.
Wow.
Kill me now.
It's a whole nother
Kill
thing.
me now.
I'm sorry, buddy.
This is brain overload right now.
It really is, and this show's starting to get to me.
Yeah. But I have to say, that's one of the main things that intrigued me about the show. You don't know what direction they're going. You don't know what's going to happen next. And now it's like, what can they possibly do on the last episode to wrap things up?
So, So
They could come out and
classic-
have it be that Sylvie's actually in charge of the TVA and she's been messing with Loki the whole time.
So classic Loki could be storyteller Loki.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Okay.
Who lives he lives with then and now.
Hmm.
And that would be another person that would obsess over a perfect timeline because that's his version of the story. And how dare you deviate from his version of the story?
Oh. That fits into his story he was telling also. Okay.
Mm-hmm. How dare that fits into the Loki narcissism as well of like, I came up with the perfect version of the story. Why would you ever deviate from that? And maybe that's
I'm
why he
good
was
in
really
glorious
lonely in
purpose.
reality. Like,
Right. Huh.
And then the
I
sacred
feel like
timeline
you
is
make
actually
it.
just the timeline that Loki wants it to be.
exactly. It's the version of the story he wrote.
Shit.
Now my gears are turning.
Thanks a lot, Rob. You just broke my brain.
Yeah, Robbie.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, my
You're
head hurts.
welcome.
Wow.
Okay.
Like, let's be honest. If we go back, my track record's like Charles Barkley's for TNT, like NBA on TNT.
Charles Barkley,
I'm like
out of all the
guaranteed. So someone went back and did the math. Charles Barkley's only right about 18% of the time with his predictions.
very bad. Very bad.
I mean, if you try to predict every outcome, you'll be right at least a couple times.
Which is why you need to start predicting things as many times as possible so you could have an increased ratio of right and wrong predictions.
I mean, if the more predictions you make, the more wrong you'll be than right. But
that's fine. It's
But
like
you'll still be right about a lot of stuff.
The more chances you have of being right, though.
Exactly.
It's like Giannis shooting threes. Eventually, they're going to start going in.
Yeah.
Giannis, stop shooting threes, please. Just go to the basket and dunk it, please. You're darn near 7 feet tall with a 40-inch vertical.
There's no shame. There's absolutely no shame in a layup.
Man don't even need to shoot a layup. He can dunk. His takeoff can be from darn near the free throw line, and he can still dunk it.
Yeah, very true.
So anyway, basketball tangent. I really think it's gonna be Kang. I do. But
see okay. So here's the thing, right? Everything is telling me it's Kang, which is why I'm nervous that it might not be.
Exactly.
Because it's like they're purposely trying to make you believe it's going to be Kang.
Just to throw you off.
But it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a possibility that it could be somebody else entirely, just like all this time when we were watching WandaVision, we swore up and down that it was Mephisto behind everything.
And it wasn't. Then it turned out to be Agatha.
It was Agatha.
It turned out to be Agatha all along. Yes. So I'm almost afraid to even be married to the idea or the possibility of it being Kang simply because we've been fooled before. Obvious. It's too obvious. And I feel like they're going to give us a curveball of some sort and make us go, that's who it is?
But they didn't do that with us in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but Falcon and Winter Soldier is a more straightforward show.
I was going to say, the thing about that show is it's kind of a, what you see is what you get type thing. There's no overarching mystery other than, who do you think is the power broker, which was super easy to predict.
It really was.
I still think she's a Skrull.
Think so?
I do. I still think she's a Skrull.
But now here's the confusing part about that. Aren't the Skrulls the good guys of this particular iteration of the characters?
Yes. They can't be if you're doing the Secret Invasion, though.
Then again, There's no such thing as all good and all bad. There are good Skrulls. We know about the good ones. Those are the ones who are, from Captain Marvel, who are hanging out with Nick Fury. But there might be another Skrull ship just waiting to invade.
And that might be why they're hanging out, is because they're trying to hunt. They're trying to pinpoint the Skrulls that are trying to do the secret invasion.
Right.
Oh.
So it could be good Skrulls versus bad Skrulls.
So wait a minute. So does that mean that the Kree were actually good?
No, they were still pricks.
Okay,
they're still pricks.
They worked for Ronan, so no.
Yeah. There's Ronan is not exactly a redeemable.
At least that specific group of Kree.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe there was just some bad Kree, and that was it.
Yeah, like they could have just been a bad team of Kree, like just how what's his face, Sinestro and Green Lantern. He was one. He just happened to be evil.
Mm-hmm. This is true. I don't know, man. The only prediction I have, and I'm even afraid to say it, is that it might not be Kang.
The only thing that I think that could be a surprising end is that Sylvie ends up being the bad one.
I feel like we're too emotionally invested for that to happen. Man.
I would be pissed about that.
Which is exactly why that would be the only twist that would throw me the hell off. Because I knew that Renslayer was evil. I knew the Timekeepers were bullshit. So they need to throw an insane curveball to stick the landing on this show.
My problem with that is, wouldn't that piss off the viewers? Right? Wouldn't that piss off the viewers? And now we don't trust any more series. I mean, other than What If, because What If is. That reminds me. Okay, so What If is narrated by a Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, do the Watchers watch the Timekeepers, or do the Timekeepers incorporate the Watchers in the timeline that they're in control of?
It's the latter. It's the latter. At least with the sacred timeline idea. But
so with the sacred timeline, because the Timekeepers exist outside of that timeline, correct?
Well,
I think Timekeepers exist outside of the timeline, and they take care of it. And do the Watchers exist in the timeline, or are they outside watching everything at once?
I've got a crazy prediction for you that actually answers your question.
Okay.
I don't think the Timekeepers gave a crap about having one sacred linear timeline. I think they allowed for multiverses. Whomever the main villain is that killed the Timekeepers is the one that cared about a sacred timeline.
That makes sense.
Oh, no. As far as we know, the Timekeepers still exist outside of the whole TVA thing. And they're just whoever's in charge of the TVA is just using the Timekeepers as a scapegoat.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing about that is that all still points back to Kang.
Exactly.
Damn.
If it's
I really hope that they're making us believe it's Kang, because if it's not Kang, I'm going to be very upset.
If it's
I just want to go into cryo sleep for a week so that I can watch this new episode already.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's like the Loki, if it's the Loki theory where it's the storytelling Loki, I'm okay with that. Or Kang. Those are the only two I'm okay with.
Yeah. Because the guy who was cast as classic Loki, he's also like a really big time actor.
Yeah, you wouldn't just use him for an episode and a
yeah. You don't use a guy like that for a one-off.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm now talking myself into it being him as the main villain, and I don't like that because I really wanted it to be Kang.
I want it to be Kang. In my heart, I want it to be Kang.
The real villain is Alligator Loki.
No, hold
just at the end. Just imagine at the end of it, Alligator Loki just comes up with he hasn't said a word so far. He just hissed at people. Then he just comes out with a big eloquent speech at the end. It's like, oh shit.
Or he shapeshifts into who he really is.
Oh, true. Loki can shapeshift, so that makes perfect sense. Alligator
Just
Loki was just
saying.
a bullshit front.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Watch that little gator.
Something's gonna happen
Watch
with
that
that
little
gator. Yeah,
gator. Yeah, man. Watch that little gator.
I'm sorry, but he was way too cool to not utilize him somehow.
To be that cool and not have a single line in the entire episode.
The important
You're
part is
cool.
he wears the crown.
He does. And he wears it well.
He does.
Man, okay.
Now we're going
Let's
off the
hold
deep
out
end.
hope. I know, right? Let's hold out hope that there's some type of alluding to Kang. Let's just hope. Because I would
Post-credit
like
scene.
I
It
would
could
like
just be
yes, something.
just start having the post-credit scenes where we start seeing Loki. Or not Loki,
Yes.
start seeing Kang.
Kang.
Or another plot twist, it's a different universe as Odin.
Oh god.
It's only this universe as Odin who's confirmed to be dead.
All right, we need to knock it off. We need to knock it off. Now we're talking about some super serious stuff. We need to knock that off.
Oh no, I could see that going that way. You want to know what it is? Like, I'm gonna go further down that rabbit hole. I'm dragging you with me, GQ.
Oh no.
What if this is like some sort of test for Loki from an alternate timeline?
Yes.
And it really is just another Odin. And Odin.
It's like a worthiness test for Thor with Mjolnir.
But for Loki. And he's brought in Loki, like projections of Lokis from other realities. I broke GQ.
And then when he passes the test, he finally gets to be king of Asgard.
Yes. And then,
but then, what would season 2 be about?
Then we cue
his glorious purpose.
Oh no! Post-credit scene. We're back in the TVA, and Loki's being kept in a sleeper state, and we have Kang the Conqueror come out and say, "How are we holding him up?"
Oh.
And with that, we have reached the end of this mind-blowing episode because
there's just one footnote to that. Marvel, come on, hire us already. Just,
yes,
pay me.
Hurry up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll do just fine. I think we'll add a little extra something to your story writing team. But until
at the very
next
least,
time,
we'll bring the ridiculousness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Until next time, though, because next week is the finale, and we will be here to talk about it. Everybody, take care and be easy. Any last words, anyone?
Go fight, win.
Hail Feige.
Hail Feige. Yeah, that works because Feige hasn't let us down yet.
Not even a little bit.
So yeah.
Well, Feige got us through the pandemic, so yeah.
Yes. So next week, same place, same damn time, 8:15, here on either YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. But until then, y'all have a lovely evening.